Most people look at an old, cheap V8 and immediately think about expensive repairs. I look at the exact same car and see something very different. A rare window where depreciation has already done all the damage, but the mechanical life is still far from over. In this breakdown, we're diving into 4 V8 luxury cars that have quietly hit their lowest market values. These were machines that once lived in the $80,000 range, engineered without compromise, and now they're sitting in the used market for a fraction of that price, mostly because the second owner got intimidated by maintenance myths. We're cutting through the noise and focusing on what actually matters: long-term durability, real-world ownership data, and engines designed to last. Powertrains like Toyota's 5.0 architecture and Audi's refined 4. 2 FSI aren't just engines. They're examples of engineering built with longevity in mind. These cars aren't liabilities, they're overlooked assets. One of the cars on this list uses a fully aluminum body that will outlast most vehicles on the road today. I'll show you exactly which one later. Before we get into the list, there's something most buyers never question. Why do so many experienced mechanics drive older cars while recommending newer ones to everyone else? If you're starting to see the pattern, hit like and subscribe to AutoMix, because once you understand this, you won't look at the car market the same way again. Here's the reality. Around the early 2010s, the automotive industry made a shift. Regulations tightened, fuel economy became a marketing weapon, and manufacturers started prioritizing efficiency numbers over long-term mechanical simplicity. That's where the concept of thermal stress becomes important. A naturally aspirated V8 running at partial load is under far less strain than a small turbocharged engine operating near its limits. The V8 is relaxed. The smaller turbo engine is constantly pushed to perform. But on paper, the smaller engine wins. Better fuel economy ratings, better emissions numbers. So manufacturers moved away from large displacement engines. What replaced them? High-pressure direct injection systems that often lead to carbon buildup. Turbochargers spinning at extreme speeds, components exposed to intense heat cycles, and increasingly, plastic parts replacing metal ones in critical systems. Modern luxury cars are often filled with components that perform well in the short term, but introduce long-term maintenance risks. Meanwhile, naturally aspirated V8 engines from the late 2000s and early 2010s are sitting quietly in the used market, fully depreciated, but still mechanically capable of running for hundreds of thousands of miles. The first owners absorbed the financial loss. The second owners became cautious. That leaves a unique opportunity for buyers who understand what they're looking at. This is where depreciation arbitrage comes in, buying at the exact moment when value bottoms out, but usable life remains high. Think about how a turbocharged engine operates. Exhaust gases spin a turbine at extremely high speeds, compressing air and increasing internal pressures across the entire system. Over time, that stress adds up. Now compare that to a naturally aspirated V8. No turbo system, fewer high-stress components, and a design that spreads workload across more cylinders. Everything operates within safer limits, which translates into longevity. Now let's get into the V8s that are sitting right at that sweet spot in the market. First up, a car that almost nobody talks about, the Lexus GS460. When a company like Toyota builds a flagship-level V8 and the market overlooks it, something interesting happens. You get a car with top-tier engineering selling for far less than it should. The GS460 uses a 4.6-liter V8 from the same family found in higher-end flagship models. It delivers strong performance, smooth power delivery, and a reputation for long-term reliability. The engineering here is focused on durability, aluminum construction paired with reinforced internal components, along with a fuel system that combines both direct and port injection. That combination helps reduce one of the most common long-term issues in modern engines: carbon buildup. The transmission is equally robust, designed to handle more torque than the engine typically produces, which means it operates well within its limits. When this car was new, it sat comfortably above $50,000. Today, clean examples are often found at a fraction of that price, sometimes competing with basic economy cars in the used market. There are a few things to watch, like routine maintenance items, but nothing that fundamentally changes the reliability profile of the car. Next, we move into German territory, the Mercedes E5550 with the naturally aspirated V8. This engine represents a point in time before complexity took over. It delivers strong performance without relying on turbocharging or overly complicated fuel systems. After this generation, things changed. Smaller turbocharged engines replaced these larger V8s, bringing more power on paper, but also introducing new long-term risks. The naturally aspirated V8, on the other hand, has a track record of high mileage with relatively manageable maintenance. Owners regularly report long service life with only basic upkeep. As with any engine, earlier production years had some known issues, but later versions addressed those concerns, making them far more reliable. Market prices today put these cars well below what you'd expect for a luxury sedan with this level of performance. Now here's where things get unexpected. A Korean manufacturer entering the conversation. The Hyundai Genesis 5.0. This was a serious attempt to compete with established luxury brands, and from an engineering standpoint, it succeeded. The engine delivers impressive power for a naturally aspirated setup and includes advanced internal technologies designed to reduce wear. Despite that, the car never gained the reputation it deserved. Many buyers didn't fully understand what they were getting, and inconsistent maintenance from previous owners affected how the car was perceived. But when properly maintained, this engine has proven to be extremely durable. Real-world reports show strong longevity with minimal internal wear, even at higher mileage. There are a few specific years to approach carefully, but later models corrected those issues and offer a much more reliable experience. Because the brand didn't carry the same prestige as its competitors, prices in the used market dropped significantly, creating one of the best value opportunities in this segment. Now everything leads to this final car. This is the one that stands out for a completely different reason: the Audi A8L with the 4.2-liter V8. What makes this car unique isn't just the engine, it's the construction. The body is built almost entirely from aluminum, which means it doesn't suffer from the same long-term corrosion issues as traditional steel-bodied vehicles. While many cars from the same era start showing age on the outside, this one holds up structurally in a way that most others don't. The engine itself is refined and well-balanced, designed for smooth performance and long-distance driving comfort. There have been concerns about certain earlier engine designs, but later versions introduced important improvements that address those weaknesses. Owners of these updated models report strong reliability when maintenance is done properly. The driving experience is elevated by features like all-wheel drive and advanced suspension systems, though those systems do require attention over time. Even so, when you look at the full package, engineering, materials, performance, it becomes clear why this car stands apart. And yet, despite all of that, it's currently sitting in the same price range as many ordinary used vehicles. Now you're looking at 4 V8-powered luxury cars that have reached their lowest value point while still offering significant mechanical life. Each one represents a different kind of opportunity. Proven reliability, strong performance, and a level of engineering that's becoming harder to find in modern vehicles. The first owners paid the premium, the second owners hesitated, and now the market has created an opening. If you know how to recognize it, you can step in at the exact right moment. So here's the move. Start browsing with a simple filter. V8 engine, late 2000s to mid-2010s, under a reasonable budget and with documented maintenance history. That's where these opportunities live. Drop a comment and tell me which one you'd go after first. I read every single one. And if you want more breakdowns like this, there are 2 more videos on your screen right now here on Auto Mix.